All right. Welcome back, everyone. Today we have another friend of the show, Paolo. Paolo, how's it going?
Good, good. Happy to be back here. Nice to
Yeah.
see you again, Sean.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was very excited. I proactively reached out when Paolo sent out an email. I'm on his email list, and he mentioned he's got a new product that's in beta. It helps a lot of Amazon sellers and Amazon first brands. And so I was like, I wanted to bring him back onto the podcast and learn more about what what Paolo's been up to. So, Paulo, I want to get into it, but before we do, could you give everyone just like a quick background on who you are?
Yeah, of course. So I've been selling on Amazon for a few years, starting and closing different brands, mostly private label, and that's how we met. Actually, a few years ago, we were in the same mastermind group, and then since I'm also a software engineer, Amazon has always been my side business. Over time, I started building like tools and spreadsheets and software, tools to help streamline my business, since again it's not my full-time focus necessarily, which I eventually, some of them became, software that I share with others. I have a blog where I share a bunch of free stuff, but also the ones that are more helpful, possibly, they can become their own products. And this is one of them. It's the very beginning of this. But
Yeah. Well, not surprised, but I am impressed. I'm excited to hear about it. So, what did you create? What is it, and who's it kind of meant?
okay, so it is a software that helps with bookkeeping for specifically Amazon sellers. So for the part of your business that sells on Amazon. My brand, for example, has a Shopify website and an Amazon storefront, and so each one converge into the same QuickBooks, software, which I
Hmm.
use for at the end of the year, yeah, bookkeeping, and then at the end of the year for tax purposes, I give access to my CPA, and they do taxes for me. So the tool I built, I went through phases until I got to this tool. So maybe I'll give you a little background
Yeah,
story.
please. Yeah.
So one of my brands back in 2020, let's say, was like 10 times bigger than it is right now. I had a very good run. And then after that, market conditions changed and it really shrunk a lot. And for how much I tried, I couldn't get it back on track. So it's still running, but it's small, profitable, but small. But that required a bunch of changes on the cost side of my business, including bookkeeping. So I had a firm, like an accounting firm, that was taking care of my taxes and my bookkeeping for a flat fee that was about $300 a month, if I remember at the time. Actually, if I'm not wrong, I met them through the same mastermind I met you. Uh, and they were doing a great job. But at that point in time, like it was too much for me. So I was looking for alternatives that were cheaper. And eventually, like I couldn't find anything that, for firms, accounting firms, the price was around that amount. Like it was a little smaller, but didn't really change much. Another option was to use softwares. A very popular one is A2X, which integrates with Amazon on one side and QuickBooks on the other side, and monthly imports transactions in a format that QuickBooks uses. I considered that. I actually, they had a trial, so I did it for a little bit. I was concerned about two things. The first was that it kind of locks you in because it decides the structure of your chart of accounts. So like which items you have. And so I don't know, at that point, since I was getting, things under my hands, it was like, this is a chance in which I get a little more control. So I learned a little more about accounting and different, entries and categories you can have. Realized that bookkeeping firm, of course, they're super expert and they have everything under control, but my business wasn't that complicated. So I was paying these $300 a month for something that I thought like, oh, they make this report is so good. No, the report was just exported from QuickBooks and that's sent to me. Like it was an import, a check if the numbers would match, an export and an email to me. So like, I'm sure that there's very complicated businesses that need an accounting firm for multiple streams of income. But for a solo Amazon seller like I was, that was way overpriced. And unfortunately, I figured it out years later. A2X,
Hmm.
the second thing I didn't want was that if the business would pick up again, they scale their pricing pretty aggressively, especially if you want something that covers both the Amazon transactions and also the cost of goods, which is another component of it. And so they start from, I think now it's $29 a month, the base for QuickBooks Amazon, if I'm not wrong, but they go up to like over $100+ a month. So it becomes like as costly as the bookkeeping firm. And I was hoping, still to revamp my brand, or maybe I start a different brand and they would duplicate the amount of the costs associated with it. So I decided not to go with them. And so I eventually, since at that point I spent some time on the topic, found a way to I basically built a magical spreadsheet where I would dump the transactions from Amazon, and it would generate a CSV file that I could import to QuickBooks. And to make sure, because you don't want to mess up those numbers, of course, like that at the end of the year, otherwise it's gonna be sour. So the good thing is that Amazon gives you the transactions, like the export, but also a summary. You can export like a PDF summary. And so you can check your totals versus the summary. If they match, you're fine, because you actually just move numbers around to have the same sums, same subtractions and sums. And so you can, upload to QuickBooks with a peace of mind that the numbers are matching. And at the end of the year, they will match the document, the 1099K document that Amazon produces for your brand based on your transaction. So this magical spreadsheet, I've been using it. This all 25 has been all accounted in this way, and I shared the spreadsheet on my blog. I have a blog where every once in a while you get the email when I post something. I have either a new tool or something I tried or a spreadsheet. So I shared it there, and there's a YouTube video, I guess, that people find. So over time, like a few, I think almost 100 people like downloaded this spreadsheet to use in their business. And there's a lot of edge cases on Amazon. There's like, I'm private label mostly, but like someone is a wholesale, someone is online arbitrage, a retail arbitrage. So definitely those, they needed some adjustment. Like every once in a while, someone would text me like, oh, numbers don't match. And that's good, because you already know you don't import the wrong numbers. You immediately see that they're not working. And I would just maybe adjust the formulas and that would work. But this was like 10% of the emails that I would get. The other 90% were people that, in importing this Amazon data in the spreadsheet, were doing something. I'm not wrong, but like, the steps to do, like where you paste the data, where, or like if not everybody is a spreadsheet ninja necessarily. And so they don't need to be the Amazon sellers. Otherwise they would be, I don't know, financial analysts or something like that. So most of my customer support was like, no, actually, you should paste it to this other cell. So guiding them in how to use this spreadsheet to make it work. And so this leads to the final tool that I just made, called Scallop. And it basically does the same thing that a spreadsheet would do without you ever having to touch a spreadsheet. You would download, like import into the tool, the two exports from Amazon, the CSV transactions and the PDF summary report. And the tool will combine this data into a CSV file for QuickBooks, and also compare the totals with the PDF summary from Amazon. So it would give you like a thumbs up or a thumbs down if the numbers are matching. If it's a thumbs up, that file can be imported in QuickBooks, and the accounting is done, pretty much. As a solution, this is at the moment, like you have to do the export and the import. It takes literally like a minute, like 2 minutes maybe. It can be outsourced to a virtual assistant, which is what I'm doing, since it's actually pretty guided. The room for mistakes is really low. I wasn't outsourcing the spreadsheet again because there could be a mistake, but this one I can. So it's just like I see my numbers every month updated on QuickBooks. But again, there's like edge cases, as I was mentioning, like wholesale, someone is FBA, someone is FBM. And this
Hmm.
creates, different entries for refunds and inventory credits. So it's open as a beta, meaning that it does work, but I'm taking only a few, users in. And as they go in, I personally follow, making sure that they get the proper export. And I fix things if they need to adjust the formulas for their specific use case. And that's where we are.
Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. Also, thank you for explaining the like thought process behind why this needed to exist, because it makes a lot of sense. Like A2X can get expensive really fast. Bookkeeping services can get expensive really fast. And a lot of it is just repetitive work that, you know, you're just paying someone to do when you could get a robot to do it and probably have fewer mistakes. So
Yeah.
it does make a lot of sense why you would do this.
And an interesting angle on this is like they scale their pricing with the volume of sales, but your business doesn't get necessarily more complicated for bookkeeping purposes if you sell
Yeah.
more. It gets more complicated if you diversify, have multiple, like in other ways it can get complicated, but selling more in like an Amazon US seller, for example, like one market, however many products you want, a lot of sales or very little sales, bookkeeping is exactly the same. And so it shouldn't cost more. That's the idea.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, to me, it's like they're just looking for a reason to charge you more rather than looking for a reason to provide more value. And like in A2X's defense, when they first came out, they were incredibly valuable because they solved a problem that no one else had a solution to. But
Makes
these
sense.
days, I mean, it's not the only option on the table, and it doesn't seem like they've done anything to innovate. And
Yeah, it's became a commodity. In my case, like this is a beta. The idea for me is that this is going to be a tool you buy it once and you use it forever. Uh, yeah, again, because again, there's not a lot of special, computing power used to do this.
yeah,
Like it proves the point. Like I don't have more cost if you sell more or something. It runs the same way. What may be a next step, but I want to tune it up to make sure that it gives the thumbs up to all the transactions, and the number of ones that I need to personally check is small. Is to actually do the import automatically to QuickBooks, like basically that becomes like A2X
mm,
competitive alternative. Yeah, but for now it's 3 steps process. You upload your Amazon data, you check the numbers, and you
mm.
then export it into QuickBooks.
Wow. Okay. Would you be interested in showing us?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm like, I want to see it. You got me all excited now.
Okay. Let's see. I can share. Okay. This time
Yeah.
can you see my
No
screen?
crash.
No
Yeah.
crash.
I'll.
Okay. So I am already logged in with one user, so we should show it like this. So for beta users, whoever has access, this is how it looks. Okay. So this is how the tool looks. He has 3 steps. The first one is where you set up your brand. You basically just need to add your brand name, and it will create the categories that QuickBooks will have to account for your transactions with your brand name. And it will let you download the chart of accounts, which is just a CSV file. Then clicking open QuickBooks, it will open QuickBooks. There we go. I hope you see it.
Yep. Perfect.
And in the menu, there is a chart of accounts option. And in
Nice.
chart of accounts, there is a way to, there's a bunch of things, to import, where is it? To import files. And we're going to find the file I just downloaded. My beautiful brand, my wonderful brand chart of accounts. So it creates a file that kind of looks like this.
Nice.
It has already, nothing needs to be done over here. You just import all the categories, and it imports 15 accounts, meaning 15 categories that will show on your profit and loss reports or something like that. Then,
Mm,
let me see, we can go back to Scallop, where the second step is to convert the files exported from Amazon. So this needs to go on Amazon, on the Amazon seller account, and download 2 files. One is the transactions, is a CSV file, and one is a PDF file summary of that period.
mm,
I will have to, unfortunately, since it crashed before, I have to log in into my Amazon account right now.
good. Yeah.
Almost there.
Okay. Nice. All right.
Okay, so from here, I'll try to do it for January since the month is not over, but it should still allow me to, download a partial, like let's say until the 20th. And so normally I do a full month, of course, but this also is good because I don't have January on QuickBooks since the month's not over yet. So we'll see the difference between before and then after importing these transactions.
Mhm.
So this first report is transaction, and we'll request it, and then it'll run a little bit. And then the second one we need is summary for the same exact period. And so it will create these 2 reports generally. It doesn't take too long. Yeah, the PDF is ready, and this one is ready also. So this, and I'm gonna download this. Perfect. Now back to the tool. It will just want like a CSV for one, and a PDF for the other. These are the 2 files we just downloaded. The PDF maybe, well, we can do later, like to show the PDF summary, which is what is used. But once you upload it, it will load for a few seconds. This was another one I did before. Now it's gonna show for January. He completed the conversion, and this check mark it means that everything went correctly. If there was a cross or something, everything would be red and would tell you like, no, contact support, you gotta, check this out. If you want, there's always access to the files you imported, but this is
Mm,
pretty much it. So now the third step is to download the file for QuickBooks. And if I go to QuickBooks, let's say I'll share this one instead, and I'll go to, you see my QuickBooks, yeah?
yeah, perfect.
Okay, and I'll go for this month. You see some data, but I'm not too jealous about it. This month, not this month, run. Okay, so just to show that before we import anything, you see
Mm,
there's no income, basically. Total income is zero because we didn't import any transaction from Amazon for January 2026. Some transactions for Amazon advertising and stuff because it charges my credit card, so that's automatically, imported, but nothing that needs to be imported from Amazon that happens within the Amazon balance sheet, the money they
mm,
hold and they owe you and all those things. So now we can import the files we created with Scallop, and they're going to be always imported as journal entries. And we're just going to look for the file that we generated, which is this, My Wonderful Brand, Amazon, January 2026. There is the account name. Don't ask me why it doesn't recognize that there is a field exactly called like that. So you just got to reselect it. Maybe we'll fix it at some point. You import it, and it's imported. Now we can go back to the same report. Do it again. This we want this month to date. Where is it? This month. And now under income, you have My Amazon, My Wonder is called because it has a number of characters. So My Wonderful Brand was a little too long. My Wonder, Amazon income. You'll see the income
mm.
so far. Other credits, basically refunds, like it's already split by all the categories that Amazon wants, and then there's nothing else to do basically, and this will match what Amazon sends you, at the end of the year with the 1099K form, and it uses the Amazon payment reports to make sure that these numbers are correct.
Paolo, that is absolutely unbelievable. The fact that you can just like take these reports that have been so challenging for the average bookkeeper to work with, the average business user to work with, and just take them and make them easy for QuickBooks to read is shocking.
And
I'm really
also, no
impressed.
spreadsheets there was no need to open any spreadsheet. So the the
Yeah.
the thing that has been confusing people for this year, hopefully this is going to be fixed with
Yeah.
this little tool.
No painful spreadsheets were used in the making of this YouTube video.
Exactly, we can put a disclaimer. Yeah. And if someone wants to do the spreadsheet, again, we can share these resources. But on my blog, the people can download the spreadsheet. It's free. It does exactly the same. Well, actually, as the tool improves, I need to catch up with the spreadsheet. But this principle is the same. The formulas
Yeah.
are the same. It's just sums and subtractions. So there's no, rocket science behind bookkeeping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's very impressive. It's also very kind of you to be willing to share so much. The average person is not nearly as transparent as you. So I really appreciate that. And I think that what you're doing is really valuable. And I'm excited for everyone to learn about it. So, with that said, where can people learn about this? What's the name of this tool? Where can they find you? Where can they learn more about you on the internet? I'd love to plug your stuff, please.
for sure. Yeah. So the tool is called Scallop, and you can find it at scallop.to. I have a passion for ocean inspired names, I guess. That's why. At the moment, as you mentioned, it's a beta. So you cannot just sign up and use it. You have to, there's a waiting list that I open some spots every month, depending on how much work I see that I need to do to adjust it for the edge cases of the people who sign up. So far, it's open. Like, for example, in this very moment, well, actually, the podcast is going to be published later. But if people sign up at the moment, I have definitely slots. And the idea is that once it's perfect, then it doesn't need me to do anything, and people will just use it as self-service completely. It's going to be a lifetime subscription, and that's it, just for the purpose of being different than A2X. And it's going to be a $99 forever, use it forever. For now, since it's a beta and you're actually helping me by using it, so I tune up the tool, it's a $29 at the time of this recording, free forever, purchase price. So that's the tool. If someone feels brave to use the spreadsheet or just comfortable with numbers and spreadsheet dynamics, you can find it. They can find it on my blog together with other free spreadsheets. That is dobrolab.io. Maybe I'll paste it in the
Yeah, we'll
comments.
put it in the description. Yeah.
And that's it. It's, as you can tell, it's a solo run. I make these tools for Amazon, but there's me behind everything. I try not to build too much of a team. The goal is to help people like me, like side hustles, side businesses do it. So there's going to be me behind every email you send. Like we can talk in a few years when there's so many emails that I cannot keep up, but I may not instant, but I'll be the one responding.
Well, Paolo, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being so generous with your answers.
Thank you.
Yeah, always a pleasure to have you back. And for everyone else, until next time.
Till next time. Thanks again.